This audiobook reveals the forbidden ancient technique, a power once hidden from humanity. As you listen, you'll awaken to the ancient method that aligns your mind with the force that shapes reality itself. What was forbidden was never lost. It has been waiting for you to remember. The Forbidden Ancient Technique. Introduction. You were never meant to struggle against life, nor to beg reality for what your heart already knows is yours. Long before the language of positive thinking was born, the ancients understood a deeper truth. The mind is not a tool of effort, but a key to realms unseen. Beyond thought and visualization lies the quantum veil, where consciousness and creation are woven as one living fabric. These teachings were hidden not because they were false, but because they were powerful. Through centuries of silence, sages guarded this knowledge, aware that an unawakened mind could misuse it. Yet every age carries its appointed moment, and this is yours. What you are about to remember is not something new, but something eternal, waiting beneath the noise of the world. The first mystery you will encounter is frequency alignment. Every thought you hold sends a vibration into the unseen field of existence. When your inner frequency matches the essence of your desire, reality responds without force or struggle. You do not chase outcomes, you attune to them. As a sacred instrument finds harmony through tuning, so too must your mind become a single, resonant note with what you wish to call forth. The second mystery is emotional coherence. The ancients knew that feeling is the womb of creation. Emotion is not a reaction to life, it is a command issued to the universe. When your inner state remains loyal to your vision, even as circumstances shift, you forge an energetic bond that cannot be broken. Every emotion becomes raw material, refined into creative power. The final mystery is conscious observation. Here, you awaken as the witness behind thought. The quantum field responds not to noise, but to awareness. By observing rather than obeying your thoughts, you rise to the causal plane where all possibilities await direction. Together, these three form the sacred trinity of mastery. Their union awakens the great remembering, the realization that you are not governed by your thoughts, you are their source. This is the forbidden truth. Consciousness itself is the creator, and you are its living doorway. Before we get into the book, comment, "I am ready," to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Awakening of Hidden Mind. Chapter 1. The Mirror of Thought. In an ancient garden, where time itself seemed to pause between heartbeats, Lula stumbled upon a curious mirror no larger than her palm. As she gazed into its surface, something extraordinary unfolded. When joy filled her heart, the reflection sparkled with golden light. When doubt clouded her thoughts, the mirror's surface grew dim and misty. Through this mystical-looking glass, Lula witnessed firsthand the intimate dance between thought and reality. The mirror revealed a fundamental truth. Your thoughts are not mere whispers in the void, but tangible forces that shape the very substance of existence. Like a sculptor's hands working with clay, your emotions mold these thought forms into manifestation. Every feeling you nurture becomes a blueprint for reality. Every sustained emotion a command to the universe. This wisdom found its echo in Millie's tale. One morning, frustrated by delays and minor setbacks, she muttered harsh words about the day ahead. As hours passed, Each moment seemed to answer her negative prophecy. Missed connections, spilled coffee, difficult conversations. The universe, in its infinite responsiveness, had simply matched her emotional frequency with perfect precision. Her complaints became cosmic orders, fulfilled with unwavering accuracy. Yet herein lies the power. For just as negative thoughts manifest their mirror image, so too do thoughts of beauty, abundance, and grace. The universe makes no distinction between what you desire and what you dread. It simply responds to the emotional energy you project. Your inner dialogue is a constant stream of creation, each word a seed planted in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. Sacred practice, the gratitude mirror. Find a quiet moment as day turns to dusk. Sit before a mirror in gentle lamplight. Rather than focusing on external appearance, let your gaze soften until you see beyond the physical reflection. Begin to whisper words of gratitude for life's simple gifts, for challenges that strengthen you, for dreams yet to unfold. As you speak these blessings, observe how your reflection subtly shifts. Notice the light in your eyes, the softening of tension, the quiet radiance that emerges when heart and mind align in appreciation. Let this practice continue until your very presence becomes a mirror of grace, reflecting only what you wish to draw into your life. Through this practice, you learn to polish the mirror of consciousness until it reflects only the highest possibilities. In this state of alignment, gratitude becomes more than sentiment. It becomes the very frequency through which abundance flows. Chapter 2. The Electric Breath. A simple mirror teaches an eternal truth. Your thoughts shape the reality you experience. When you gaze into the looking glass of life, it reflects back precisely what dwells in your mind. Just as Lula discovered in that mystical garden, consciousness itself holds creative power beyond measure. The mirror reveals that your thoughts are not mere fleeting shadows, but living energy that molds the substance of existence. Like a sculptor's hands working with clay, your emotions shape these thought forms into manifested reality. Every complaint becomes a command. Every fear materializes as circumstance. Every joy multiplies into greater delight. Yet knowing this truth is merely the beginning. The ancient ones understood that mastery requires more than mental recognition. It demands the marriage of thought and breath. As Harvey discovered, when you learn to breathe as though drawing in pure starlight while releasing all fear, an extraordinary transformation occurs. The world as you knew it seems to dissolve, revealing a deeper reality where breath becomes the bridge between spirit and form. This sacred breath is the primal current that powers awareness itself. It is both the simplest and most profound tool for transformation. Josie's journey illuminates this wisdom. When she began placing her full attention on each inhale, her anxiety naturally dissolved. More remarkably, her deepest desires began manifesting with unexpected ease. Why does this occur? Because breath control equals vibration control. Each breath is an instruction to the universe, telling it where your focus truly lives. When you breathe unconsciously, scattered in thought, your energy remains fragmented. But when you breathe with presence, gathering your awareness into each moment, you become a unified field of creative power. The practice. As you move through your day, maintain conscious awareness of your breath. Let each inhale be a gentle affirmation of peace, while every exhale releases resistance and tension. Don't force or strain. Simply observe the natural rhythm. As you continue this practice, you'll notice the breath itself begins to form a new harmony. This living rhythm becomes a magnetic force, drawing experiences of bliss and alignment into your reality. Through this ancient breathing technique, you'll discover that controlling the mind doesn't require force or struggle. Instead, it flows naturally from aligning with the breath that has sustained life since the dawn of time. In this sacred rhythm lies the key to manifesting your deepest desires. Chapter 3. The Observer's Throne. In the depths of night, Roy lay restless upon his bed, tormented by endless streams of anxious thoughts. Yet as sleep finally embraced him, an extraordinary vision unfolded. He found himself seated upon a majestic golden throne, elevated above a vast cosmic expanse. Below him, his thoughts appeared as brilliant comets, streaking across the darkness, each one carrying its own story of worry, regret, or desire. From this elevated perspective, Roy witnessed something remarkable. Those thoughts that had seemed so overwhelming and all-consuming now appeared as mere celestial events, beautiful yet temporary, powerful yet passing. In that moment, he understood the ancient wisdom. You are not your thoughts, but the consciousness that observes them. This revelation carries within it the key to true mental mastery. When you remain caught within the stream of thinking, identified with each passing thought, you become its willing servant. Yet when you step back into the role of the observer, thought loses its hypnotic power. Like a spell broken by daylight, its control over you begins to fade. Elsie's story illuminates this truth with striking clarity. For years, she had carried the weight of betrayal, replaying painful memories until they became deeply etched grooves in her consciousness. Each remembrance strengthened the story's hold, keeping her bound to past hurts. Yet when she learned to withdraw her attention from the narrative and instead watch it as a detached observer, something shifted. Under her steady, non-judgmental gaze, the old pain began to lose its substance. Like morning mist touched by sunlight, it gradually dissolved into nothingness. This ancient technique reveals that thoughts are like clouds passing through the vast sky of your awareness. When you chase them, resist them, or cling to them, they gain power over your experience. But when you rest in the seat of the witness, watching them float by without attachment, their influence naturally diminishes. The key lies not in fighting unwanted thoughts or forcing yourself to think positively, but in recognizing your true identity as the eternal observer. From this space of pure awareness, all thoughts, whether pleasant or painful, are seen as temporary appearances in the boundless field of consciousness. The practice. Throughout your day, pause occasionally to rest as the watcher of your mental activity. See your thoughts and feelings as scenes within a cosmic movie, neither resisting nor engaging with their content. Simply observe them, passing through your awareness, like clouds drifting across an infinite sky. As you maintain this practice, you'll find yourself naturally settling into the throne of stillness, your eternal seat of conscious awareness. From this elevated perspective, your external reality will begin to mirror the divine composure you've discovered within. Chapter 4. The Law of Echoes. Once, in a village among ancient hills, there lived a merchant named Beatrice. Each morning she would wake to count her worries as faithfully as others counted their blessings. And each evening she would retire to bed carrying the same burden she had carried the day before. until one remarkable dawn, when laughter burst from her lips, not from joy, but from the sudden recognition of a pattern as clear as footprints in fresh snow. You see, Beatrice had unwittingly mastered the art of repetition. Her fears of scarcity drew more reasons to fear. Her anxiety about loneliness attracted more solitude. Her worries about health manifested as recurring ailments. In that moment of laughter, she glimpsed the cosmic mirror that had been reflecting her inner world back to her with perfect precision. This revelation unveils one of the most potent truths of the universe. Your emotional frequency acts as a magnetic force, drawing circumstances that match its vibration. Like calls to like, creating an endless echo throughout the corridors of existence. Each feeling you nurture becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of the infinite, growing into experiences that mirror its nature. Consider Walter, a humble craftsman who grasped this wisdom during times of apparent lack. While his workshop stood empty and his purse light, he made a remarkable choice: to feel the richness of abundance in his heart before it appeared in his world. He walked through his quiet workshop seeing possibility where others saw absence. He touched his tools with gratitude where others might have felt despair. Within months, his small space hummed with activity, as though the universe itself had rushed to match his inner prosperity. The law operates with unwavering precision. What you feel deeply and consistently becomes the blueprint for your reality. Every emotion you harbor sends ripples through the cosmic field, returning to you multiplied in physical circumstances. Joy attracts joy. Peace draws peace. Abundance magnetizes abundance. Practice, the echo of emotion. As you move through your daily activities, become conscious of the emotional signals you broadcast into the universe. Choose one desired state, be it abundance, love, or peace, and cultivate it within your heart. Let this feeling permeate your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Walk as though you are already living in the reality you wish to create. Speak as though your desires have already manifested. Feel the warmth of gratitude for what is coming, knowing that your emotional frequency is already drawing it toward you. Watch as life begins to mirror back the very essence you project, transforming your world into a hall of echoes that amplify your chosen vibration. Chapter 5. The Garden of Symbols. Like footprints in sand that draw the tide, your thoughts and emotions send ripples through the fabric of reality, returning as waves of circumstance. The law of echoes reveals itself in every corner of existence, waiting for those with eyes to perceive its working. In a garden where ancient wisdom bloomed alongside fragrant blossoms, Clara tended her roses with a devotion that transcended mere cultivation. These weren't ordinary flowers. They danced to the rhythm of her inner world. When her heart sang with gratitude, the roses would unfurl their petals in magnificent displays, their colors deeper and more vibrant than any gardener had witnessed. Yet on days when shadows crept across her spirit, the same roses would bow their heads, their petals drawing inward as if sharing her melancholy. Through her roses, Clara discovered the language of the universe, a dialogue conducted not through words, but through living symbols. Every petal, every thorn, every drop of morning dew reflected back the state of her inner garden. The roses became mirrors, showing her that the outer world always responds to the frequency of your emotional transmissions. This truth manifested differently for Otto, a philosopher who lived at the edge of an ancient forest. Each dawn, a white bird would perch outside his window, its song piercing the veil between sleep and waking. At first he dismissed it as mere coincidence until he noticed the bird appeared most prominently during moments of spiritual breakthrough. The bird became his teacher, showing him how the universe speaks through symbols, offering guidance to those who listen with their hearts rather than their minds. What Clara's roses and Otto's bird reveal is the subtle language through which the law of echoes communicates. Your subconscious mind, that vast reservoir of power, responds more readily to symbols than to logical discourse. It understands the poetry of existence, the metaphors that dance through your days, the synchronicities that whisper of deeper meanings. The outer world constantly reflects your inner dialogue through these living symbols. A sudden rain shower might mirror your unshed tears. A butterfly landing on your hand could signal an imminent transformation. A locked door might represent beliefs that keep you confined. These are not mere coincidences, but the universe's way of showing you your own thoughts made manifest. Ancient practice, the symbol walk. As you move through your day, notice the symbols that appear in your path. Let each object, each encounter, speak its hidden message. If a particular symbol repeatedly appears, pause and ask what truth it might be reflecting about your inner state. Write down these symbols and their potential meanings in a journal, allowing their wisdom to guide your understanding of your own consciousness. Through this practice, you'll begin to read the living book of symbols that surrounds you, each page offering insights into the echoes of your own creation. Chapter 6. The Voice Between Thoughts. In the dance between thought and manifestation lies a hidden partner, the power of silence. Like the space between musical notes that gives melody its meaning, silence holds the key to unlocking the mind's deepest wisdom. Sadie walked the paths of an ancient monastery garden, her mind crowded with questions about her life's direction. As she paused beneath a weathered arch, something remarkable occurred. In that moment of perfect stillness, before her thoughts could form into words, the answer she sought materialized in her consciousness, crystal clear and complete. The silence had spoken with a wisdom beyond her rational mind's reach. This revelation unveils one of the universe's most guarded secrets. The creative power dwells not in endless thinking, but in the sacred space between thoughts. These intervals of pure awareness serve as gateways through which universal intelligence flows unobstructed. When you learn to rest in this stillness, solutions arise naturally, like bubbles rising to the surface of a quiet pond. The mind, in its constant chatter, often drowns out the whispers of infinite wisdom. Yet in moments of true silence, when mental noise subsides, you tap into the vast field of all possibilities. Here, in this fertile void, answers bloom without effort, and guidance arrives unbidden. Raymond discovered this truth during a period of intense business challenges. Rather than exhausting himself with endless analysis, he began practicing moments of complete mental stillness throughout his day. Soon, seemingly random encounters and unexpected opportunities began appearing, each one perfectly aligned with his needs. A chance meeting in an elevator, a misdelivered letter, a wrong turn that led to the right person. The universe conspired to support him through a language of synchronicity. His experience illuminates a profound truth. Silence is not an absence, but a presence. It is the fertile soil from which all creation springs. When you learn to trust these intervals of quiet, life begins to flow with an effortless grace, guided by an intelligence far greater than the calculating mind. The ancient practice of sacred silence. Find a quiet space each day where you can sit undisturbed. Begin with 5 minutes and gradually extend the duration. Let your thoughts settle like leaves falling on still water. Don't attempt to empty your mind. Simply observe the spaces between thoughts. Notice how these gaps naturally widen when given attention. In these moments of pure awareness, hold your questions lightly, without demanding immediate answers. Let the silence speak in its own time and way. Make this practice a daily ritual, and watch as life begins to respond with increasing clarity and synchronicity. Chapter 7. The Hidden Magnet. Along the bustling streets of a timeless marketplace, Lottie observed a peculiar pattern. Some merchants seemed to naturally draw smiling faces and open hearts, while others, despite offering similar wares, stood alone in their shadows. She noticed one particular spice vendor whose stall overflowed with customers, though his prices weren't the lowest, nor his spices the most exotic. What set him apart was his radiant joy, a warmth that seemed to emanate from within, touching all who passed by. His laughter rang genuine, his eyes sparkled with delight, and his very presence felt like a blessing. People didn't just come for his spices. They came to bask in his light. The universe operates through invisible frequencies, each emotion broadcasting its own distinct signal into the infinite field. Your feelings are not mere responses to life. They are magnetic codes that summon matching experiences. Like calls to like, joy attracts joy, and what you feel becomes the blueprint for what manifests. Consider Gordy, a humble potter whose workshop became a gathering place for artists and seekers. Though he began with nothing but his craft and his optimism, his unwavering spirit of celebration drew precisely what he needed. First came the apprentice who would later become his business partner, then the merchant who offered to showcase his works in distant lands. Soon, his small workshop transformed into a thriving artisan school, each blessing arriving as naturally as breath. These stories unveil a fundamental truth. Happiness is not the reward for success. It is the magnetic force that draws success near. Your emotional state creates a resonant field that either attracts or repels corresponding experiences. When you maintain joy regardless of circumstances, you broadcast a frequency that the universe must match. The ancient practice of joy. Magnetism. Find a quiet moment each morning before the world stirs. Place your hand upon your heart and begin to generate genuine appreciation for anything that moves you. The sunrise, a memory of kindness, the miracle of breath. Let this feeling expand until it fills your chest with warmth. As this sensation grows stronger, imagine it radiating outward like golden light, touching everything in your path. Hold this vibration for several minutes, allowing it to reset your emotional frequency for the day ahead. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the active calibration of your magnetic field. Carry this practice forward as you move through your day. When challenges arise, return to this inner warmth. Let joy become your natural state, not because circumstances warrant it, but because you choose it. Watch as life begins to mirror your inner light, drawing to you experiences that match your chosen frequency. Remember, the universe responds not to what you want, but to what you are. Be joy itself, and watch as miracles dance inevitably toward you. Chapter 8. The Alchemy of Perception. These stories unveil a fundamental truth. Your emotional state is the magnet that shapes your destiny. Just as a radio must tune to the correct frequency to receive a broadcast, your inner vibration must align with what you wish to attract. The universe responds not to your words or wishes, but to the electromagnetic signature of your feelings. Think of your heart as a beacon, continuously broadcasting signals into the cosmic field. Every moment of gratitude, every flash of joy, every peaceful breath sends ripples through the fabric of reality. These ripples return as experiences that match their original frequency. When you understand this principle, you realize that maintaining your desired emotional state isn't just pleasant. It's the very mechanism of manifestation. In every ancient wisdom tradition, this knowledge was guarded and passed down through whispered teachings. The Egyptian mystics knew it. The Vedic sages wrote of it. The Hermetic philosophers encoded it in their texts, as above, so below, as within, so without. Mabel discovered this truth through a simple colored glass she found in her grandmother's attic. At first, the world through its lens appeared dull and gray, until she shifted her angle slightly. Suddenly, everything bathed in brilliant amber light. The same world, transformed by perspective alone. This glass became her teacher, showing how reality shifts with the lens of perception. The lesson deepened through Vernon's experience. Faced with being laid off from his position of 20 years, his initial reaction was devastation. Yet, when he chose to view this challenge as an opportunity for renewal, invisible doors began to open. A chance conversation led to a business partnership. An old hobby blossomed into a thriving enterprise. What seemed like an ending transformed into a beginning, all through the alchemy of perspective. What you see depends entirely on where you stand. Nothing in this world holds fixed meaning until consciousness assigns it. Every experience, every circumstance, every encounter awaits your interpretation. You are not merely an observer of reality. You are its interpreter, its alchemist. The practice. Sit quietly for a moment and identify a current challenge in your life. Now, close your eyes and imagine viewing this situation through a lens of pure golden light. See how this difficulty might be disguising a blessing. What opportunities lie hidden within this obstacle? What growth might this challenge invite? Throughout your day, practice this perspective shift. When faced with delay, see it as the universe creating perfect timing. When encountering resistance, recognize it as strength training for your spirit. Let your awareness become the philosopher's stone, transmuting every experience into gold. Before sleep each night, review your day searching for hidden blessings. Write down 3 situations that initially seemed negative, but revealed gifts when viewed through different eyes. Continue this practice until you naturally perceive the golden opportunity within every shadow. Remember, the frequency you maintain becomes your fate. Your emotional state is the hidden magnet that draws tomorrow's experiences. Choose your inner vibration with the same care you would choose a destination, for in truth, they are one and the same. Chapter 9. The Wave of Feeling. In a small village among ancient hills, Nora discovered the secret language of emotions. Each morning she would sit by her window, summoning memories that brought forth tears, both of joy and sorrow. As the droplets fell, she noticed how swiftly her outer world transformed to match her inner landscape. When her tears flowed from grief, difficulties multiplied. Yet when they sprang from gratitude, blessings appeared as naturally as dew on morning grass. The wisdom contained in Nora's experience reveals a truth as old as consciousness itself. Your emotional state shapes reality more powerfully than thoughts alone. When you cultivate a feeling, you speak directly to the universe in its native tongue. Every emotion carries a specific vibrational signature that ripples through the quantum field, attracting circumstances that resonate with its frequency. Think of your feelings as the clay from which tomorrow is molded. Just as an artist must first feel the shape within the marble before bringing it forth, you must embody the emotional essence of your desires before they can materialize. This is why affirmations without feeling fall flat. They are like sending letters without addresses into the cosmic mail. Calvin's story illuminates this principle with crystalline clarity. Having struggled with misfortune, he began a simple practice. Regardless of circumstances, he would pause throughout his day to appreciate something, anything, with his whole heart. He appreciated the warmth of sunlight, the taste of water, the sound of birds. At first, nothing changed externally, but as he persisted in this emotional discipline, remarkable coincidences began occurring. Opportunities emerged from unexpected quarters. Helpful strangers appeared at crucial moments. His luck seemed to polish itself bright, simply because he had mastered the art of genuine appreciation. The universe responds not to what you think you want, but to what you vibrate. Your emotional state is your spiritual signature, broadcasting continuously into the field of infinite possibility. When you understand this, you realize that feeling your desired reality into existence is not merely wishful thinking. It is the very mechanism by which creation unfolds. The ancient practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Choose one desire you wish to manifest. Now, instead of merely thinking about having it, immerse yourself in how it would feel to already possess it. Let this feeling saturate every cell of your being. Practice maintaining this emotional state for 5 minutes, 3 times daily, regardless of external circumstances. As you master this art, watch how reality begins to bend toward your emotional frequency, like flowers turning to face the sun. Remember, the universe mirrors what you feel, not what you think. Your task is not to force outcomes, but to become the living embodiment of the feeling state that matches your desires. In this way, creation becomes not an act of will, but a dance of resonance. Chapter 10. The Seal of Intention. In the heart of an ancient marketplace, a merchant named Tessie sold intricate tapestries. Each morning she would stand before her shop and declare with absolute conviction the exact number of pieces she would sell that day. Not as hope or wish, but as calm certainty, like knowing the sun would rise. Without fail, her declarations manifested with precise accuracy. When you align your inner state with unwavering conviction, you activate a sacred law of creation. This principle transcends mere positive thinking. It demands the complete dissolution of doubt. Just as water cannot exist as both ice and steam simultaneously, your consciousness cannot hold both certainty and hesitation about a desired outcome. Leon's journey illuminates this truth. For years, he dreamed of establishing a sanctuary for wandering souls. Yet each time possibility drew near, his doubt created ripples in the field of manifestation, and the dream would slip away like morning mist. His desire remained constant, but his certainty wavered, and in this wavering, the universe could not anchor his vision into form. Then came the moment of transformation. One dawn, Leon ceased hoping and wishing. Instead, he entered a state of such complete knowing that questioning became impossible. From this altered consciousness, every necessary resource appeared with natural grace. His sanctuary manifested not through force or struggle, but through the magnetic power of undivided conviction. This experience reveals the difference between wanting and knowing. Wanting creates distance between you and your desire. Knowing collapses that distance, allowing manifestation to flow unimpeded. When you seal your intention with certainty, you broadcast a clear frequency that the universe must answer. Think of certainty as the signature that finalizes your cosmic order. Just as a contract requires a definitive signature to take effect, your desires require the seal of unwavering conviction to manifest. Half-hearted wishes scatter in the wind. Sealed certainty anchors creation into form. Ancient practice. The seal of conviction. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind one desire you wish to manifest. Now, rather than hoping or wishing, shift into the consciousness of absolute knowing. Feel the calm certainty in your chest that this desire is already fulfilled. Speak these words with quiet authority. I seal this truth with the power of my conviction. It is done. Let your voice carry the weight of finality, as though stating an immutable fact like the turning of the earth. Maintain this state of sealed certainty for several minutes, refusing entry to any contradiction. When doubts arise, simply observe them passing like clouds, never disturbing the bedrock of your knowing. Practice this daily until your entire being resonates with unshakable conviction. Part 2. The Mastery of Inner Language. Chapter 11. The Secret Alphabet of Emotion. In a hidden valley where ancient scrolls were once safeguarded, Dolly discovered an unusual manuscript. Unlike other texts filled with words, this one contained only patterns, intricate waves and spirals that seemed to dance across the parchment. As she traced these patterns with her fingertips, she noticed how each design corresponded to a distinct emotional state within her being. The universe speaks through the silent language of vibration. Every feeling you experience creates a unique energetic signature, a letter in the cosmic alphabet that shapes the story of your existence. These emotional frequencies are far more precise than words, for they communicate directly with the creative force that orchestrates reality. Just as different musical notes create distinct harmonies, your emotional states generate specific vibrational patterns that resonate through the fabric of existence. Joy vibrates at a frequency that attracts joyful circumstances. Peace emanates waves that smooth the path before you. Even what you perceive as negative emotions serve as powerful teachers, showing you which frequencies require transformation. Wendell's experience brings this truth into sharp focus. For years, fear had been his constant companion, its low vibration attracting circumstances that justified his anxiety. Then one morning, standing at the edge of a decision, he consciously chose to transmute fear into courage. This wasn't mere positive thinking. It was an alchemical shift in his energetic signature. As Wendell maintained this new vibrational state, the external world began responding in kind. Opportunities that once seemed threatening now appeared as adventures. People who had been hesitant to support his ventures suddenly offered partnership. His reality rearranged itself to match his altered emotional frequency. The wisdom lies in understanding that emotions aren't simply reactions to life. They are the very grammar through which you author your destiny. Each feeling is a deliberate stroke in the calligraphy of creation. When you master your emotional state, you master the language through which the universe manifests your experience. Ancient practice, the vibrational symphony. Find a serene moment in your day and settle into a comfortable position. Place your hand over your heart and tune into its rhythm. Begin to feel the current emotional vibration flowing through your being. Notice its texture, its frequency, its subtle qualities. Now, consciously choose an elevated feeling state, perhaps love, gratitude, or peaceful confidence. Let this new emotion fill your chest like warm sunlight. Feel its distinct vibrational signature. Speak to your heart in gentle tones, as though teaching it a new song. I am the composer of my emotional symphony. Each feeling I choose writes the next verse of my journey. Hold this practice for several minutes, allowing your chosen vibration to stabilize and strengthen. Let it become your natural frequency, the note you contribute to the universal symphony. Chapter 12. The Mirror of Words. In a bustling marketplace stood a merchant named Alice, whose words flowed like bitter honey. With each dawn, she greeted herself with harsh judgments, unaware that her speech wove the tapestry of her destiny. "You'll never succeed," she would whisper to her reflection, and the universe, ever faithful to its laws, arranged circumstances to match her proclamation. Within the ancient wisdom lies a truth so fundamental it shapes the very essence of existence. Your spoken words are not mere sounds dissipating in the air, but energetic blueprints that the universe receives as commands. Each syllable carries a vibration, each phrase emits a frequency that ripples through the infinite field of possibility, calling forth its matching reality. The power of speech extends beyond mere communication. It is the very tool of creation. When you speak, you are not simply describing what is, but declaring what shall be. The universe knows no difference between a statement of fact and a statement of intention. It simply responds to the energy contained within your words, manifesting circumstances that align with your verbal declarations. Floyd, a humble gardener, stumbled upon this truth through his own transformation. For years, his tongue had been sharp with self-rebuke, his garden reflecting the harshness of his inner dialogue. Then, guided by an inner knowing, he began speaking to himself as tenderly as he spoke to his beloved roses. "I'm growing stronger each day," he would say. "Success flows to me naturally." Within weeks, his garden flourished beyond measure, and opportunities bloomed in every aspect of his life. His story teaches us that the alchemy of transformation begins with the conscious refinement of speech. Each positive declaration plants a seed in the fertile soil of possibility. Each word of self-appreciation creates a resonance that attracts corresponding experiences. The ancient practice of sacred speech. Find a quiet space where you can be alone. Stand before a mirror at sunrise or sunset. For 7 minutes, speak aloud the reality you wish to create, not as a future hope, but as a present truth. Let your voice carry the certainty of knowing rather than the tension of wanting. I am abundantly blessed. Prosperity flows to me easily. My life unfolds in perfect harmony. Practice this ritual daily, allowing your words to become vessels of light. Feel the vibration of each statement resonating through your being. The universe will begin to mirror back the frequency of your transformed speech, for what you consistently declare must eventually manifest. Remember, your mouth is the architect of tomorrow's reality. Guard your words as sacred instruments of creation. Speak only what you wish to see multiplied in your life. Let your language become a luminous bridge between the world you inhabit and the world you envision. Chapter 13. The Spiral of Belief. In a small cottage at the edge of town lived Franny, a weaver whose life reflected the tangled patterns of her thoughts. Each morning she would rise and whisper to herself, "Nothing comes easily." And true to her word, every endeavor became a battle against invisible resistance. Her days wound themselves into tight coils of struggle, each challenge reinforcing her conviction that success required endless toil. Yet beneath every believed limitation lies a doorway to liberation. The ancient masters understood that beliefs are not solid walls, but spiraling currents of energy, drawing unto themselves experiences that match their frequency. Like water flowing in a whirlpool, your deepest convictions create a magnetic vortex, pulling circumstances that mirror your innermost expectations. This universal law operates with mathematical precision. What you truly believe manifests with unwavering accuracy. Your beliefs are not passive thoughts, but active forces that spiral outward, touching every aspect of your reality before returning full circle to confirm their own truth. When you declare something impossible, the universe conspires to prove you right. When you know something is achievable, paths open before you. Eugene, a humble scribe, discovered this principle through his own transformation. For years, he believed prosperity belonged to others, and his ledgers faithfully reflected this conviction. Then one day, watching autumn leaves spiral in the wind, he glimpsed the pattern of creation. He realized his belief in scarcity was simply a spiral he had chosen to dance within. With this understanding, Eugene began a patient revolution of thought. Each morning, he would sit in silence and feel the absolute certainty of abundance flowing through his life. He didn't wish or hope, he knew. Gradually, his spiral reversed its direction. New opportunities appeared, unexpected doors opened, and resources flowed as naturally as breath. His transformation proved that belief is not mere thought, but gravitational force, drawing experience into its field. The sacred practice of spiral alignment. Find a quiet moment as the sun rises. Imagine a golden spiral extending from your heart, reaching into the infinite. Feel this spiral carrying your chosen belief, perhaps of abundance, love, or success. Don't strain or force. Simply allow the warmth of absolute knowing to flow through you. Let this spiral turn 3 times, each rotation strengthening your conviction. As you move through your day, whenever doubt arises, return to this spiral of certainty. Feel its gentle pull guiding circumstances into alignment with your deepest knowing. Remember, the universe responds not to what you wish for, but to what you absolutely know to be true. The spiral of your beliefs continues its endless dance, drawing experiences that match its pattern. Choose your convictions with care, for they become the architects of your destiny. Let each thought be infused with the warmth of certainty, until your chosen beliefs loop seamlessly back as tangible blessings in your life. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Music of Attention. In the heart of an ancient garden, Hattie discovered a truth that would transform her understanding of creation. Each morning she would walk among her flowers, letting her gaze linger on those that brought her joy. Day by day, the blooms that captured her attention grew more vibrant, their colors deepening, their fragrance intensifying. Meanwhile, the plants she overlooked seemed to fade, as though starved of some essential nourishment. This principle extends far beyond the garden. It touches every aspect of existence. Your attention is not merely observation. It is living energy, a frequency that feeds whatever it touches. Like sunlight falling on fertile soil, conscious awareness nurtures the seeds of manifestation into full bloom. The universe responds to this law with perfect precision. That which receives your loving attention grows stronger, more defined, more real. That which suffers neglect begins to dissolve, returning to the formless potential from which all things emerge. Your focus acts as a lens, concentrating the light of creation itself. Sherman, a merchant in a bustling marketplace, learned this wisdom through bitter experience. His shop held treasures from distant lands, yet he spent his days focusing on his competitors' success, lamenting his own perceived lack. As his attention fixed on what he didn't have, even promising opportunities began to slip away unnoticed. Potential customers would enter his shop only to leave without purchase, as though affected by his distracted energy. One evening, an old sage paused before his counter and spoke words that would alter Sherman's path. Your attention is your offering to life. Whatever you feed with awareness will multiply. Understanding dawned like first light. Sherman began directing his complete attention to his precious wares, to each interaction with customers, to the flow of commerce itself. Within months, his shop transformed. Items that had gathered dust suddenly found eager buyers. Opportunities he had never noticed before appeared with startling regularity. This truth remains. Attention is not passive, but creative. It carries the power to strengthen or diminish, to manifest or dissolve. When you consistently direct your awareness toward your desires with appreciation and love, you tune your entire being to their frequency. The universe cannot help but respond. The ancient practice of attentive creation. Choose one desire close to your heart. Each morning, give it 20 breaths of pure, loving attention. Don't strain or grasp. Simply observe it with genuine appreciation, as you would admire a beautiful flower. Feel its presence growing more real with each conscious breath. Let your awareness caress its edges until it begins to pulse with life. Feed your dreams daily with loving focus until reality hums to your careful melody. Chapter 15. The Hidden Gardeners of Thought. Your attention works like the rays of the sun. Wherever it shines, life flourishes and expands. What you choose to focus upon determines which elements of your existence will strengthen and which will fade into shadow. This truth manifests with particular power in the realm of thought and emotion. The tale of Doris unveils this principle with striking clarity. Each morning, she would wake to find her dreams and aspirations tangled in the thorny vines of doubt. These mental weeds, fed by her constant worry and attention, grew stronger by the day until they threatened to choke out every seed of possibility she had planted. The subconscious mind operates as a perfect garden. It knows no discrimination between what you wish to grow and what you fear might flourish. It simply responds to the quality and intensity of your attention, nurturing whatever thoughts receive your consistent focus. Truman's experience illuminates the practical application of this wisdom. Once plagued by visions of failure, he began a deliberate practice of mental gardening. Each time a fear thought sprouted, he would gently uproot it and plant in its place an image of triumph. He visualized his success with the same detail and emotion one might use to tend a prized rose garden. Within months, these carefully cultivated thoughts began to manifest in his external reality, proving that attention truly is the water that brings our mental seeds to bloom. What grows in your mental garden shapes the landscape of your destiny. Every thought you nurture becomes a seed that will eventually bear fruit in your life. This is why mastery of attention stands as one of the fundamental keys to manifestation. The practice of sacred attention. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Close your eyes and imagine your mind as a vast garden. See the weeds of worry and doubt that may have taken root. Now, with gentle determination, begin to clear this inner soil. Pull out each negative thought as you would a weed, releasing it with compassion. In the freshly cleared spaces, plant seeds of gratitude. For each blessing in your life, place a seed of appreciation into the fertile soil of your consciousness. Water these seeds with your focused intention, feeling the warmth of your attention nourishing them into life. Continue this practice daily, watching as your mental garden transforms. Let peace and plenty flower naturally from the seeds you've planted, knowing that your attention is the sacred force that brings all things to bloom. Chapter 16. The Serpent of Resistance. In the depths of every desire lies a hidden current, an opposing force that seems to push against your dreams with invisible hands. This truth revealed itself to Goldie as she pursued her deepest aspirations. With each step forward, she felt an intangible tension pulling her back, as though the universe itself contested her progress. Yet within this apparent opposition lies a profound secret. Resistance emerges not from external circumstances, but from conflicting vibrations within. When your conscious desires clash with subconscious beliefs or fears, this misalignment creates a field of energetic friction. Like two waves meeting in opposite directions, they generate turbulence in the waters of manifestation. The wisdom traditions teach that everything in existence seeks harmony. When you struggle against resistance, you inadvertently strengthen it. For what you resist persists. This truth becomes evident in the subtle realms of energy and intention, where force creates counter-force and struggle amplifies the very obstacles you wish to overcome. Chester's journey illuminates the path through this paradox. As a merchant facing mounting challenges, his initial response was to fight against his growing fear. Yet the more he battled his anxiety, the more his circumstances seemed to mirror his inner turmoil. Then came the moment of transformation. Instead of resisting his fear, he chose to embrace it. In that act of acceptance, something remarkable occurred. By acknowledging his fear without judgment, Chester discovered that resistance itself began to dissolve. The very emotions he had fought against became doorways to deeper understanding. His obstacles, once viewed as enemies, transformed into teachers guiding him toward greater alignment. This holds true for all forms of resistance you encounter. Whether it manifests as doubt, fear, or apparent external opposition, resistance signals an opportunity for inner alignment. The key lies not in conquest, but in conversation, not in force, but in flow. The ancient practice of gentle acceptance. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Bring to mind a current challenge or goal where you feel resistance. Rather than pushing against this feeling, invite it closer. Notice where this resistance lives in your body, perhaps as tension, heaviness, or constriction. Breathe deeply and extend welcome to these sensations. Speak to them as you would to a frightened child, with tenderness and understanding. Ask what message they carry for you. Listen without judgment to the whispers of your inner wisdom. As you practice this gentle acceptance, observe how resistance begins to soften. Feel how your relationship with these once unwanted feelings transforms. Let them become allies in your journey, knowing that each moment of acceptance creates space for new alignment to emerge. Through this practice of tender acknowledgement, watch as the very forces that seem to oppose you reveal themselves as guides toward your highest good. For in the dance of resistance lies the seed of your liberation. Chapter 17. The Whisper of Intuition. In the tapestry of existence, a thread of divine wisdom weaves through every moment, speaking in whispers that transcend ordinary thought. The story of Ivy unveils this eternal truth. Each evening she walked home through familiar streets until one night, when darkness fell earlier than expected. As anxiety rose within her chest, a subtle voice suggested an alternate route, one she had never taken before. Though logic protested, something deeper compelled her to heed this quiet prompting. Following this unseen guidance, Ivy discovered not only a safe passage home, but also a profound truth. Within each soul resides a connection to infinite intelligence. This inner compass speaks not in thunderous proclamations, but in gentle nudges, quiet knowings, and subtle impressions that bypass the rational mind. The universe communicates through this sacred channel of intuition, your personal link to the cosmic intelligence that orchestrates galaxies. Like a GPS system attuned to divine coordinates, this inner guidance system knows the shortest path between your current reality and your highest good. Yet unlike mechanical navigation, it operates through feeling, through the whispered yes that resonates in your heart, or the gentle caution that presents as hesitation. Rufus's experience amplifies this wisdom. During a period of professional uncertainty, he felt drawn to attend a gathering he would normally have avoided. No logical reason supported this impulse. It was simply a quiet knowing that refused to be ignored. By honoring this subtle directive, he encountered an individual who later became a pivotal alliance in his journey. His story illuminates how intuition, when trusted, orchestrates synchronicities beyond the mind's ability to plan. This inner guidance system activates most powerfully in moments of stillness, when the clamor of external voices subsides. It speaks through sudden inspirations, unexpected clarity, and inexplicable certainties. Yet many dismiss these promptings as mere coincidence or imagination, failing to recognize the divine intelligence attempting to direct their path. The ancient practice of intuitive alignment. Find solitude each day, preferably at dawn or dusk. Quiet your mind and pose a simple question to the universe. Rather than straining for answers, rest in receptive silence. Notice the subtle impressions that arise, a feeling, an image, or a knowing that comes without effort. Document these gentle nudges in a sacred journal. Begin following these intuitive promptings in small matters first, building trust in this divine guidance system. As you honor these subtle directives, watch how life begins to flow with increasing grace and synchronicity. Your inner compass will gradually become your most trusted advisor, leading you unerringly toward your highest destiny. Chapter 18. The Current of Forgiveness. In the depths of human experience lies a truth as old as consciousness itself. That which we hold in bitterness becomes our prison. Homer discovered this ancient wisdom through the language of his own body. Each day he nurtured his grievances like precious jewels, replaying old wounds until they crystallized into physical discomfort. His shoulders grew heavy with unspoken accusations, his breath shallow with unexpressed pain. The universe speaks through the vessel of your physical form, for the body knows no deception. When you grip tightly to past hurts, this resistance creates blockages in the natural flow of life force. Like a river dammed by fallen trees, the energy of resentment stagnates, poisoning the waters of creation itself. This corrupted flow manifests as illness, lack, or persistent misfortune, not as punishment, but as the natural consequence of restricted energy. Nettie's transformation illuminates this principle with crystalline clarity. For years she carried the weight of betrayal, her mind constantly returning to those who had wronged her. Her life reflected this inner turbulence. Opportunities slipped away, relationships remained superficial, and abundance seemed forever out of reach. Then one morning, exhausted by the burden, she chose to release her grip on these old stories. The shift was not immediate, but as she consistently practiced letting go, something remarkable began to unfold. Doors that had long been closed suddenly opened. Resources appeared as if by magic. Her health improved, and her spirit lightened. What appeared impossible while caught in resentment's grip manifested naturally in the space created by forgiveness. This wisdom reveals forgiveness not as an act of weakness, but as a profound reclamation of power. When you release others from the prison of your judgment, you simultaneously free yourself from serving as their jailer. This liberation allows divine energy to flow unimpeded through your being, washing away stagnation and bringing fresh possibilities. The ancient practice of energy release. Find a quiet moment as twilight approaches. Close your eyes and bring to mind those situations or individuals that still trigger emotional charge. Imagine each memory suspended in a sphere of golden light. Watch as this light begins to dissolve the dense energy of old hurts, transforming resentment into understanding. Feel the lightness that comes as you release your grip on these past wounds. Let each breath carry away the residue of bitterness until only the gleaming pearl of wisdom remains from each experience. Continue this practice until you sense the channels of your being opening, allowing life force to flow freely once again. Chapter 19. The Reflection of Compassion. An ancient merchant once discovered a golden ring inscribed with a message, "In the heart of your enemy lies your freedom." Bonnie came to understand this truth through bitter experience. Each time she harbored ill will toward another, misfortune would visit her doorstep wearing a different mask. Her business would falter, relationships would strain, or opportunities would slip away like water through fingers. The law of reciprocity flows through all creation with mathematical precision. Every thought sent into the universe returns multiplied, transformed by the same energy with which it was released. When you cast judgment, criticism, or hatred into the field of infinite possibility, these vibrations ripple outward, gathering momentum before cycling back as circumstances that mirror their original frequency. Yet within this mechanism lies profound power. Each act of compassion creates waves of harmony that protect and amplify your spiritual resonance. When you choose understanding over judgment, forgiveness over condemnation, you align yourself with the highest universal forces. These forces then work through you, transforming obstacles into stepping stones, adversaries into allies. Alton discovered this wisdom during a period of intense business competition. Rather than viewing his rivals with suspicion or attempting to undermine their efforts, he chose to see their shared humanity. He offered guidance when they struggled, celebrated their successes, and maintained unwavering goodwill despite market pressures. Mysteriously, doors began opening in unexpected places. Former competitors became collaborators, and new opportunities emerged that benefited all parties involved. His story reveals a profound truth. Compassion possesses an alchemical power to transmute the base metal of conflict into the gold of cooperation. When you extend kindness to those who seem positioned against you, you initiate a sacred process of energetic transformation. The universe responds to this elevated vibration by rearranging circumstances in harmony with your expanded consciousness. Those who attempt to shield themselves through judgment and criticism unknowingly construct their own prisons. But those who dare to protect themselves through understanding and goodwill discover an impenetrable armor of grace. This is not passive acceptance of wrongdoing, but rather a recognition that true power lies in maintaining inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. Ancient practice of radiant goodwill. Find a quiet moment each morning. Close your eyes and bring to mind someone who challenges you. Rather than dwelling on their faults, send them waves of silent blessing. Visualize light surrounding them, acknowledging their own struggles and humanity. Extend this practice to all difficult situations in your life, treating each shadow as a potential ally awaiting transformation. Continue until you feel your heart expand with genuine warmth. This practice, maintained with patience and sincerity, will gradually shift your vibrational field, attracting experiences that reflect your elevated consciousness. Chapter 20. The Language of Frequency. In the gentle hours before dawn, a solitary figure walked along an ancient shore. Georgia sat in the sand, watching waves pulse against the shore with hypnotic rhythm. As each wave rolled in and retreated, she noticed how the ocean's movement mirrored the ebb and flow of human consciousness, rising, falling, eternally dancing with unseen forces. The universe speaks in the language of vibration. Every thought you hold, every emotion you nurture, ripples through the quantum field like waves across the surface of existence. These frequencies travel far beyond the confines of your physical form, touching the very fabric of reality and instructing it how to arrange itself in your experience. Just as the moon pulls the tides, your vibrational state draws or repels circumstances with invisible but unwavering power. When you maintain a frequency of joy, peace, or abundance, the universe has no choice but to reflect these qualities back to you through the mirror of experience. Leroy discovered this truth during a period of profound transformation. Each morning he devoted time to aligning his inner state with the qualities he wished to experience. Rather than merely thinking about joy, he learned to become joy itself, to embody the vibration completely. As he sustained this practice, remarkable coincidences began appearing in his life. Opportunities arose effortlessly, relationships healed spontaneously, and solutions emerged for problems he hadn't yet voiced. His experience revealed an eternal truth. Frequency is the native tongue of consciousness. Before words, before thoughts, before desires, vibration speaks directly to the intelligence that orchestrates all creation. This subtle language bypasses the limitations of the conscious mind, communicating your true essence to the quantum field. The ocean knows this secret well. Each wave carries information. Each pulse tells a story. Your emotional state broadcasts similar signals into the field of infinite possibility. When you understand this principle, you hold the key to deliberate creation. Your task is not to force or struggle, but to maintain the frequency of what you wish to experience. Ancient practice. Find a quiet moment each day to tune your inner frequency. Close your eyes and feel the vibration of serenity flowing through your being. Let love radiate from your heart without condition or expectation. Hold this state until you sense the shift, until your entire being resonates with this chosen frequency. As you move through your day, return to this vibration whenever possible. Watch as the world begins to mirror back your inner harmony, bringing experiences that match your energetic signature. The universe has no choice but to respond in kind, for this is the law of resonance that governs all creation. Part 3. The Liberation Beyond Thought. Chapter 21. The Veil of Identity. In a quiet village where ancient wisdom whispered through narrow streets, Minnie spent her days carefully adjusting herself like a chameleon. For merchants, she wore the mask of shrewd negotiator. For family, the dutiful daughter. For friends, the eternal optimist. Each role felt necessary, yet each drained her spirit until she could no longer remember her true face beneath the many layers. The truth lies not in who you think you must be, but in the boundless awareness watching the performance. Your genuine power resides beyond all roles, beyond every carefully constructed identity. When you grasp this, you understand that every limitation exists only in the story you tell about yourself. These masks you wear, achiever, struggler, victim, hero, are costumes in consciousness. They may have served you once, protecting tender hopes or managing others' expectations. Yet now they constrain the infinite being you truly are. Each time you say, "I am this," or "I cannot be that," you draw a line around limitless potential. Vernon discovered this truth during a period of financial transformation. For years he wore the mask of humble modesty, believing it virtuous to minimize his worth. "Who am I to desire abundance?" he would ask, wearing this false humility like a badge of honor. But beneath this masquerade, divine abundance awaited recognition. One morning, sitting in meditation, Vernon felt his carefully maintained persona crack. In that moment of surrender, he glimpsed his true nature, vast, unlimited, worthy of all abundance. As the mask of false modesty fell away, opportunities began flowing into his life with natural ease. He had not needed to become worthy. He had only needed to stop pretending he was not. The universe responds not to your carefully crafted personality, but to the truth of your being. When you release these accumulated identities, you open yourself to the infinite potential that has always been your birthright. Every mask you wear is a limitation you accept, a boundary drawn in the boundless field of pure possibility. Ancient practice. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring awareness to the presence that watches your thoughts. Notice how this awareness remains unchanged while thoughts and emotions flow past like clouds in the sky. Rest in this limitless space of being, allowing all concepts of who you think you are to dissolve naturally. Feel yourself as pure consciousness, vast, open, and free from all labels and limitations. Maintain this practice until you sense the solid walls of identity becoming transparent, revealing the infinite nature of your true self. Chapter 22. The Fire of Presence. In a sunlit garden where time seemed to pause between heartbeats, Elsa paced anxiously, her mind racing through countless scenarios of what might unfold. Her thoughts darted between past regrets and future fears until she noticed a butterfly landing on a nearby flower. As she watched its wings pulse with life, something shifted. Her racing thoughts settled, and in that moment of pure attention, all her worries dissolved like morning mist in sunlight. Within the depths of presence lies a power greater than any mental strategy. When you pour your attention fully into the now, you tap into the eternal moment where all possibilities exist simultaneously. This is not mere distraction from worry, but rather an alignment with the creative force that underlies all existence. Your mind would have you believe that scanning the future protects you from harm, that replaying the past prevents repeated mistakes. Yet this constant mental movement only creates resistance to the natural flow of life. True power emerges when you release your grip on time and merge completely with the present moment. Harris discovered this truth during a period when deadlines and commitments threatened to overwhelm him. Rather than attempting to stretch time through faster action, he began approaching each task with complete presence. To his amazement, time seemed to expand around his focused awareness. Projects that once felt rushed now unfolded with natural grace. Important opportunities appeared at precisely the right moment, as though the universe itself was orchestrating his schedule. The present moment is not a mere sliver of time between past and future. It is the doorway to eternity. When you rest your attention fully in the now, you access a dimension of being where time becomes fluid and responsive to consciousness. Here, in this sacred space of presence, miracles unfold naturally, because you have aligned yourself with the creative pulse of the universe. Worry exists only in the mental constructs of time. It cannot survive in the pure light of present awareness. Each time you bring your attention fully into now, you step out of the stream of anxious thinking and into the ocean of infinite potential. Ancient practice. Settle into a comfortable position and bring your attention to this exact moment. Notice the sensations in your body, the sounds around you, the rhythm of your breath. When thoughts arise about past or future, gently return to the sensory experience of now. Feel the aliveness that permeates this moment. Allow yourself to sink deeper into presence until you sense the timeless dimension that underlies all experience. Rest here, letting the brilliance of pure awareness nourish your being. From this space of presence, watch as life begins to flow with effortless grace, every need met in perfect timing. Chapter 23. The Dreaming Universe. High in a mountain monastery, a bowl chimed through mist as Polly awakened from a vivid dream. Yet something was different. The waking world held the same luminous quality as her dream state. In that crystalline moment, she understood that physical reality was simply another form of dreaming, moving at a more measured pace. The truth shimmers before your eyes. All experience arises from consciousness itself. What you perceive as solid matter is but a projection of awareness, dancing at different frequencies. Your physical senses report a world of fixed objects and linear time, yet this is merely one layer of an infinite dream. Just as dream landscapes respond instantly to the dreamer's expectations, the material world reshapes itself according to your deepest convictions. The only difference lies in the speed of manifestation. Physical reality operates like a slower dream, allowing you to witness the process of creation unfolding. Lionel grasped this principle during his morning meditation. Rather than fighting negative moods, he began treating them as dream elements he could consciously alter. When anxiety arose about an upcoming presentation, he didn't resist the feeling. Instead, he shifted his emotional state as naturally as changing scenes in a dream. His audience responded to this altered vibration, and the presentation flowed with effortless grace. Within the dreaming mind, a door becomes a window by simply expecting it to change. Similarly, your waking experience remains flexible, responsive to the quality of consciousness you bring to each moment. Fear solidifies circumstances into seemingly fixed patterns, while fluid awareness reveals their inherent malleability. You are not a powerless figure in someone else's dream. You are the dreamer. Every circumstance you encounter carries the same potential for transformation as dream imagery. The key lies not in forcing change through willpower, but in recognizing the dreamlike nature of all phenomena. Ancient practice for awakened living. Begin each morning by gently reminding yourself, this day unfolds like a conscious dream. As you move through your activities, maintain a sense of wonder at the dreamlike quality of each experience. When challenging situations arise, remember they possess the same elasticity as dream scenarios. Rather than struggling against circumstances, shift your emotional tone as you would in a lucid dream. Feel the reality around you responding to these subtle adjustments in your awareness. Practice this perspective until the boundary between dreaming and waking dissolves, revealing your true nature as the eternal dreamer. Chapter 24. The Dance of Detachment. In a sun-dappled garden, Lila clutched her dreams like withering flowers, wondering why they wouldn't bloom. With each anxious thought about her desired outcome, the manifestation seemed to slip further from her grasp. Then one morning, as she watched a leaf float effortlessly downstream, wisdom dawned. Her tight grip was blocking the flow. The universe operates through an intelligence far vaster than human planning. When you release your iron grip on how things must unfold, you allow this infinite wisdom to orchestrate circumstances beyond your limited perspective. Your role is not to manipulate every detail, but to plant the seed of intention and trust in its natural growth. Think of how a flower blooms. It doesn't strain or force its petals open. It simply aligns with the rhythm of nature, allowing sunlight and nutrients to trigger its transformation. Similarly, your desires flourish best when held in open palms rather than clenched fists. Marvin discovered this truth during his journey to expand his business. For months, he had micromanaged every aspect, trying to control each step of growth. Exhausted and frustrated, he finally surrendered his vision to a higher power. To his amazement, opportunities began appearing from unexpected directions. A chance meeting led to a perfect partnership. A seeming setback revealed a more profitable direction. By releasing his grip on the how, he allowed the universe to manifest his desire through channels he could never have planned. This surrender is not passivity or resignation. Rather, it is the highest form of trust in universal intelligence. When you stop insisting that manifestation must arrive through your limited conception of possibility, you open the door to miraculous unfolding. Your clear intention acts as a beacon, while detachment gives the universe room to weave its magic. Think of your desires as messages to the cosmos. Once sent, there's no need to keep repeating or clutching the thought. The universe has received your signal. Your only task now is to maintain the feeling of trust and allow the response to arrive in its perfect form and timing. Ancient practice of sacred surrender. Hold your deepest desires as gently as you would precious feathers in your palm. Feel their lightness, their potential for flight. Now, with complete trust, imagine releasing these feathers to the winds of universal intelligence. Watch them dance upward, knowing they will return as manifested blessings in ways more beautiful than you could have orchestrated. Practice this visualization whenever attachment arises, until surrender becomes your natural state of being. Chapter 25. The Smile of the Infinite. Along a winding path through an ancient grove, Benny carried the weight of years like stones in his heart. Each step felt heavier than the last as dark thoughts clouded his mind. The world seemed devoid of color, drained by his persistent melancholy. Yet fate had arranged a most unexpected encounter. A child sat beneath a flowering tree, weaving daisy chains and laughing at the dance of butterflies. The sound of that pure, uninhibited joy pierced through Benny's gloom like a shaft of sunlight through storm clouds. The child looked up, eyes twinkling with innocent wisdom, and offered him a flower crown. "Why do grown-ups forget how to play with the light?" the child asked, demonstrating how to catch sunbeams between spread fingers. This simple act awakened something long dormant in Benny's spirit. As he mimicked the gesture, genuine laughter bubbled up from deep within, dissolving years of accumulated sorrow. When joy flows naturally, you align with the original rhythm of existence. Before thought created complexity, before worry carved channels of fear, there was only the pure delight of being. This state of innocent wonder remains your natural inheritance, waiting beneath layers of acquired seriousness. Myrtle discovered this truth during her battle with illness. Medical treatments had failed to improve her condition until she remembered how to smile from her soul. Each morning she practiced inner smiling, not the forced grin of politeness, but the genuine warmth that radiates from heart to skin. Within weeks, her body began responding, healing itself through the medicine of joy. The universe expresses itself most purely through those who maintain their connection to innocent wonder. Like a stream that knows nothing of obstacles, childlike joy flows around problems rather than engaging with them. This is not naive optimism, but rather the deepest wisdom, the recognition that life's natural state is joy. Your innate state mirrors the universe's fundamental nature. When you laugh freely, you harmonize with the cosmic dance. Each genuine smile creates ripples of healing energy that transform not only your own experience, but touch everyone you encounter. Ancient practice of inner radiance. Begin each day by touching your heart center and remembering the feeling of pure joy, perhaps from childhood or a moment of perfect peace. Let a smile form from within, not as a facial expression, but as an energy that radiates from your core. Allow this inner smile to expand gradually, filling your entire being with golden light. Carry this radiance with you, letting it touch each person and situation you meet. Practice this whenever you notice tension or heaviness, until joy becomes your natural way of being, and your very presence becomes a blessing to others. Chapter 26. The Portal of Gratitude. Nina sat in her barren apartment, surrounded by unpaid bills and empty cupboards. Yet in that moment of apparent scarcity, she discovered an ancient secret: the power of giving thanks for what had not yet manifested. Each morning, she would smile at her empty table and express heartfelt gratitude for the abundance she knew would grace it. Though her circumstances remained unchanged at first, something within her began to shift, like the first rays of dawn breaking through darkness. The universe operates through an eternal law. That which you genuinely appreciate multiplies in your experience. This is not mere positive thinking, but rather the activation of a cosmic principle as old as creation itself. When you offer thanks in advance of physical manifestation, you align with the creative force that births worlds into being. Your gratitude becomes the magnetic force that draws circumstances into alignment with your appreciation. This truth reveals itself through countless lives, transformed by its application. Rupert, a merchant who had lost everything in misfortune, began each day by thanking the universe for prosperity as though it already existed. He would touch his empty coin purse with reverence, expressing sincere appreciation for the wealth he knew would soon fill it. Within weeks, unexpected opportunities appeared. A chance meeting led to a profitable partnership, and his gratitude-filled vision materialized into tangible abundance. His experience teaches us that appreciation is not a response to circumstances, but rather the very force that shapes them. When you thank the universe in advance, you demonstrate unwavering faith in its infinite provision. This faith, expressed through gratitude, becomes the bridge between your current reality and the manifestation of your desires. True gratitude transcends surface-level pleasantries. It must arise from the depths of your being, a genuine recognition of the universe's endless bounty. When you stand in authentic appreciation for that which is yet unseen, You participate in the primordial act of creation itself. Your thankfulness becomes the fertile soil from which manifestation springs forth. Ancient practice. As you retire each evening, sit in perfect stillness. Place your hand upon your heart and speak words of genuine thanks for 3 blessings you wish to receive, as though they already exist. Feel the warmth of gratitude spread through your body. Maintain this practice for 40 days without interruption, allowing your appreciation to become the lamp that illuminates your path to manifestation. Chapter 27. The River of Unity. In a bustling marketplace, Eddie stood frozen amidst the flowing crowd, overwhelmed by a sudden revelation. For years he had felt like an island, separate, isolated, perpetually seeking connection, yet finding only temporary bridges. But in that sacred moment of stillness, as his awareness expanded beyond the confines of his personal identity, something extraordinary unfolded. You see, the greatest illusion cast upon human consciousness is the belief in separation. This veil of division creates the false perception that you exist as a solitary fragment, disconnected from the whole. Yet beneath this surface appearance lies a truth so vast it can scarcely be contained in words. There is only one mind expressing itself through countless forms. This universal mind flows through all beings, like an infinite ocean moving through countless waves. Each person you encounter is another expression of your own deeper self, wearing a different mask, playing a different role in the cosmic dance. When you truly understand this, competition dissolves into cooperation, fear transforms into love, and scarcity reveals itself as abundant wholeness. Margot discovered this truth through an unexpected channel. Carrying deep wounds from childhood, she had always struggled to forgive those who hurt her. One day, while sending loving thoughts to someone who had caused her pain, she felt an ancient knot within her own heart begin to unravel. As she continued this practice, she realized that healing others and healing herself were the same action. For there is no true separation between hearts that beat with the same universal life force. The implications of this wisdom reach far beyond personal healing. Every judgment you hold against another is ultimately a judgment against yourself. Every blessing you extend multiplies in your own experience. The universe operates not through division, but through unity, not through conflict, but through harmony. This truth becomes most apparent in meditation, when the chattering mind grows quiet enough to sense the underlying connection between all things. In that sacred silence, you may discover that your consciousness is not confined to your body, but extends infinitely in all directions, touching all beings, all times, all possibilities. Ancient practice of unity. Find a quiet moment and close your eyes. Breathe deeply and allow your awareness to expand beyond your physical form. Picture each person in your life as another version of yourself, experiencing life from a different vantage point. Feel your heart beating in symphony with every other heart on earth. Send waves of compassion outward, knowing they will return to you multiplied. Practice this until the boundaries between self and other dissolve into pure awareness, and you recognize your true nature as the one consciousness expressing itself through all forms. Chapter 28. The Temple of Silence. The truth of unity consciousness reveals itself most clearly in moments of profound stillness. Like ripples merging back into the ocean, Your awareness begins to dissolve the artificial boundaries between self and other. In these sacred moments of meditation, you touch the infinite field of consciousness from which all creation springs. Consider how Hazel discovered this eternal truth. Each morning, she would settle into perfect stillness, watching as her racing thoughts began to scatter like dust motes dancing in rays of sunlight. At first, she tried to grasp at them, to organize and control them as she always had, but gradually she learned to simply observe their natural dissolution. In that space beyond thought, she encountered a vast silence that healed the very root of separation. This silence holds the power to transform your entire experience of reality. It is not merely the absence of noise, but rather the presence of pure consciousness itself, the foundation from which all manifestation arises. When you touch this depth of stillness, the illusion of separation naturally falls away. Clyde's journey illustrates this principle perfectly. For years, he fought against circumstances, believing he needed to force and struggle his way through life. But when he began dedicating time each day to sitting in complete stillness, everything shifted. The more he surrendered into that infinite silence, the more his external reality began to reflect that same harmony. What once required tremendous effort now unfolded with natural grace. This is because silence is not passive. It is communion with the source of all being. When you rest in that sacred stillness, you align with the creative intelligence that orchestrates the entire universe. From this space of unity consciousness, struggle dissolves because you recognize that you are not separate from the power that creates worlds. The ancient practice of sacred stillness. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Settle your body into a comfortable position and allow your eyes to gently close. Without forcing or straining, simply rest in the natural silence that is already present. Let each breath draw you deeper into stillness. If thoughts arise, neither resist nor engage them. Simply watch them dissolve back into the silence from which they came. Remain here for as long as feels natural, allowing peace to saturate every cell of your being. Practice this daily until you begin to live as prayer itself, moving through life from that space of sacred stillness. In this silence, you discover what the ancient masters have always known, that you are not separate from the infinite source of all being. You are that. Chapter 29. The Crown of Light. In the depths of your being lies a sacred connection to infinite intelligence, waiting to be awakened through the power of pure imagination. This truth reveals itself through the art of visualization, not as mere fantasy, but as a bridge between realms of consciousness. Luann discovered this ancient wisdom during her morning meditations. As she sat in stillness, she began envisioning a soft golden light hovering just above her crown. At first it appeared as only a faint glimmer, like starlight glimpsed through evening mist. Yet as she maintained her focus, the light grew stronger, sending waves of warmth cascading through her mind. With each passing moment, this radiance expanded, dissolving the boundaries between thought and pure awareness. The universe speaks in the language of light. When you open yourself to its sacred frequencies, you attune to the highest wisdom available to human consciousness. This is not metaphor, but rather a fundamental principle of spiritual awakening. Your imagination serves as the instrument through which divine intelligence makes itself known in your awareness. Arlo's experience demonstrates this profound truth. For months, he dedicated himself to practicing light visualization, focusing on drawing down celestial radiance into his being. Gradually, his intuitive faculties sharpened. Solutions to challenges appeared spontaneously in his mind. Guidance arrived with crystalline clarity. The light he visualized became a living presence, illuminating his path from within. This process reveals how imagination creates pathways between material and spiritual dimensions. By holding images of pure light in your consciousness, you literally restructure the neural networks through which higher awareness flows. Your brain becomes a more refined receiver for universal intelligence. The relationship between spirit and matter transforms through this practice. As you bathe your mind in visualized light, the frequency of your thoughts naturally elevates. This creates harmony between your physical brain and your spiritual essence, allowing wisdom to flow unimpeded through your entire being. Ancient practice of light integration. Sit comfortably with your spine straight and eyes closed. Begin by imagining a soft, pure light hovering just above your crown. Allow this light to slowly descend, filling your mind with its gentle radiance. Feel its warmth spreading through your thoughts, illuminating every corner of your consciousness. Let this light expand naturally, creating a luminous crown that extends in all directions. Rest in this visualization until you sense your perception beginning to sparkle with divine clarity. The light becomes your teacher, revealing wisdom beyond words. Chapter 30. The Infinite Mind Revealed. Maggie spent years believing her thoughts defined her until one dawn meditation transformed everything. As she watched her mind's activity, something extraordinary occurred. She saw thoughts arising not as personal creations, but as waves upon an infinite ocean of consciousness. Each worry, each joy, each passing notion simply rippled across a boundless expanse that had always been there, waiting to be recognized. This revelation opens the gateway to ultimate freedom. The mind you've claimed as yours is but one expression of the universal mind, expressing itself through countless forms. Like waves that cannot be separated from the ocean, thoughts cannot truly be owned. They flow through consciousness as natural movements of the infinite. When you release the illusion of separate thinking, reality shifts profoundly. No longer must you carry the burden of believing you are limited to personal thought patterns. The entire ocean of universal intelligence becomes available, washing through your awareness with divine wisdom. Percy's journey mirrored this timeless teaching. For years, he carried deep resentment toward those who had wronged him, until he glimpsed the stunning truth. There was no other to forgive. The same consciousness flowed through all beings, playing all parts in the cosmic dance. In that moment of recognition, forgiveness happened naturally. For how can the ocean be angry at its own waves? This understanding marks the threshold of true liberation. When you realize thoughts are not personal possessions, but movements of the one mind, suffering begins to dissolve. The thinker and the thought merge back into their source, pure, boundless awareness. What remains is peace beyond understanding, joy beyond reason. The ancient ones guarded this teaching carefully, knowing its power to shatter all illusions of separation. Yet now the time has come for this wisdom to be known. You are not confined to the limited stream of personal thinking. You are the vast ocean in which all thoughts arise and dissolve. Ancient practice of ocean consciousness. Sit quietly each day, allowing your attention to rest in the space of pure awareness. Watch thoughts arise like waves on an endless ocean, neither grasping nor rejecting them. Remember, you are not the ripples of thought, but the boundless ocean of consciousness itself. Let this truth settle deeply until peaceful infinity breathes through your every action. In this remembrance lies perfect freedom. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. You have not traveled outward in search of truth, but inward to the place where knowing has always lived. These final pages do not grant you something new. They unveil what has been quietly breathing within you since the beginning. The essence of the forbidden ancient technique was never hidden from you. It rested patiently in your own awareness, awaiting recognition. Through these sacred teachings, you have remembered that thought, feeling, and being are not separate movements, but a single current flowing through the field of creation. Mastery of mind does not arise through domination or resistance, but through attunement. When you cease to battle your inner world, wisdom rises naturally, and choice replaces habit. In this stillness, power becomes effortless. Each parable and practice has refined your vision, preparing you to create with reverence rather than urgency. Imagination reveals itself as a holy instrument, not to bend reality through force, but to resonate with the infinite possibilities already alive around you. When you respond from awareness instead of reacting from fear, life rearranges itself to reflect your inner harmony. What once appeared as a sealed gate now stands revealed in its simplicity. There was never a forbidden technique to conquer, only a divine identity to remember. The seeker dissolves, and in its place stands the author of experience itself. The mystery fades, not into emptiness, but into clarity. You are the source you were searching for. The ancients safeguarded this wisdom not to deny it, but to protect its purity until hearts could receive it without distortion. Now you understand. True mastery flows when love thinks through you, when the mind becomes transparent, allowing eternal intelligence to move freely. You stand at the threshold of living this truth. Let your consciousness become the quiet flame that lights each step ahead. Walk gently, knowing that every moment of awareness deepens your union with the infinite wellspring from which all creation flows.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.